welcome to GGSP. I'm Jem. If you love animals, then we have got the show for you. Coming up, Rad and I bring you our review of the hugely anticipated and adorable life sim, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Plus, Will heads into virtual reality to play with some magical paper creatures in Paper Beast. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a raccoon I have to pay off some debt to. Oh, you should probably start the show. I owe this raccoon a lot of money. Animal Crossing is a wildly popular series, all about quaint village life. And the newest title in the lineup, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, is one of the year's most highly anticipated games.
This is my first Animal Crossing game, and I was so keen to dive in. Straight away, I was delighted by how happy it feels. Animations and menus are so polished and juicy. Wherever you look, there's something charming, and everyone's attitudes are super positive. In fact, you basically get told there's no wrong answers. It's a very feel-good game.
Absolutely. I love how it's mostly about making friends and getting things to look nice. There's no story as such or specific goal in the game. There are achievements that you get currency for completing and lots of different tasks you can get stuck into. But really, you're just there to enjoy your island. I guess you could say you're there to expand your island with villages and houses, but it never feels like a pressing issue. There's no deadlines, just things to do at some point to get cool stuff and grow.
Oh, you can grow flowers too. There's plenty of choice in how you spend your time. My personal favorite is catching fish and bugs. There's the thrill of the hunt, and once you get your prey, you're gifted with a pun. You can then donate specimens to the museum, where they're displayed in beautiful enclosures. Wandering through feels like a real visit to a museum, and it taps into the collector in me. It is so satisfying, and the thrill of catching a big fish. Yeah, look at that glorious gilt guy. You know me, Jem. I can go fishing in a game all day long.
And I'm sure you did. I couldn't get enough of the design parts. I love a good aesthetic. You have so much control over how things look, including your outfit, building placement in town, and everything in your house. Do you like my house, Rad?
Everything except this doll. What do you think of mine?
Minimalist. Making items is also nice and easy, so it never feels overwhelming. Just collect a few things and bam, you can craft away.
I really like that the recipes are pretty simple too. You don't have to spend a lot of time hunting for resources to build what you need. Yet there's still a huge catalogue of items you can learn to make or buy to deck out your space just so.
Especially when it comes to the Pro Editor. This lets you create custom patterns pixel by pixel, which can be put on clothes or walls and the like. I gotta say, it's not easy getting things to look good, but I think I did a pretty nice job if I do say so myself.
Oh, Jem, you'll have to send that design to me. I personally didn't really get into the pattern making, but even without it, I found I had plenty to keep me occupied. There's lots to do organizing the town and collecting things. Or for a break, you can visit your friend's island, have a run around and trade some goods. Or you can buy a plane ticket to visit a random island that might have resources that aren't available back home, which is a thrilling adventure each time. I've even heard rumor of an island with nothing but tarantulas on it.
I've heard that too, and I hope I never ever find it. That's literally my worst nightmare. But I do love those almost urban legends that spread between players and the sense of community around Animal Crossing.
Oh, totally. For example, sometimes when you shake a tree, a wasp nest will fall out. I kept getting stung in the face until someone told me that you can turn around and catch them if you're quick enough. It's these kinds of little tricks and interactions that make the game a little bit magic.
Yeah, I always feel like there's something new to discover, and I love all the social interaction. Running around being silly with friends, sharing resources and knowledge, or posing for a quick photo. But it never feels like it steps on the toes of people who want to play on their own, which is really important to me. It feels like just the right balance between social and solo.
Yeah, I usually prefer social gaming, but the single player kept me perfectly happy. The game also syncs up with real time, so sometimes you'll need to wait a day for something to be built. I like how this slows things down and makes you plan ahead. For example, the shops close at 10 p.m, so you need to get in before that. And once they closed, I'd often just put the game down, which is actually a good thing. It naturally encourages you to have breaks by limiting what you can do. You can change the time on your console to skip ahead and unlock things faster, but I like the chill vibes of playing it in real time.
Rad, I have no patience, so I'm a time skipper through and through. Although I would have liked the option to skip some of the dialogue. It can be pretty wordy and repetitive, especially when I'm visiting the store or museum so frequently.
Is that because you're selling off sea bass like 8 times a day?
Yes, sometimes I think there are no other fish actually in the game. But all in all, I really loved Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's super feel good and let my creative spark fly, so it's easily 5 out of 5 rubber chickens from me.
There's so much to do here that it feels practically endless. And with all the different ways to play, there's something for everyone. I'm also giving it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Where's my assistant? We need to talk about this coffee. I mean, I may not actually consume it myself, but I nevertheless insist upon the finest single origin espresso. Perhaps with some notes of blackberry and cacao? A touch of bright acidity? Is that too much to ask? Hello. Welcome to the Scoop. We have loads of gaming news for you to peruse, starting with some Nintendo news. A surprise Nintendo Direct Mini recently revealed all sorts of things for the Switch, including that the next Super Mario Bros. Ultimate DLC fighter will come from the game ARMS. We also heard details of the Bunny Day event for Animal Crossing, more about the upcoming expansion passes for Pokémon Sword and Shield, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order, and a free update for Ring Fit Adventure, which includes a rhythm game mode.
It's time to jump up in the air. Jump up, don't be scared.
But that's not all. There's also a bunch of new games headed to the Switch, including Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, which includes tabletop classics from around the world. From digital dominoes to computerized checkers, aka drafts, many of which support multiplayer. There's also a Splatoon-y-looking free-to-play action game coming soon called Ninjala. That's a whole lot of news for a so-called mini announcement. Moving on to the news that a new Angry Birds animated series is due out in 2021. Angry Birds Summer Madness will be made for the streaming service Netflix and follow the summer camp adventures of a young Red, Chuck, and Bomb. While reports say it plans to continue in the same tone as the Angry Birds movies, the animated series will have a whole new visual style. Hard to be angry with that news if you're an Angry Birds fan. In other news, while large IRL car racing events may be on hold for the moment, many pro drivers have moved to racing in online video game competitions instead. Formula One, for example, has launched the F1 Esports Virtual Grand Prix Series, featuring a number of current F1 drivers. And NASCAR has created the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series, with drivers competing via the PC game iRacing. These races are even broadcast on pay TV, featuring their usual live commentary teams. Sounds like a vroom vroom boom for virtual motorsports. And now it's time for the Extra Scoop! This week, a clever gamer known as Green Squid has recreated some of the shrine puzzle dungeons from The Legend of Zelda with Nintendo Labo VR, using some pretty nifty programming skills. Impressive! And that's all for this week. Until we scoop again, farewell. Now, back to that coffee. Note to self. Ask my assistant to find out who makes the best cold brew around here. You know, I liked cold brew before it was cool. Back then it was just lukewarm brew. A bit of coffee humor there.
The VR adventure Paper Beast comes to us from the mind of Eric Chahi, developer of From Dust and Another World. Chahi has quite a wild mind when it comes to his video games, and the concept for this one is no exception. A malfunctioning computer program sends you into a vast digital world. Origami-like creatures roam the land, their consciousness formed from streams of data. The world is unpredictable. The creature's sentient. And the story is kind of non-existent. Most of the game is very much an art piece, so you'll take from it what you want. For me, it was sometimes a little too obscure, though it was very clear the developers wanted to say something. What even is that? Thankfully, it's not all about the weird and obscure vibes. There's actually some really unique puzzle-based gameplay here. Puzzles are given and solved organically. With each level you enter, you'll need to determine what's wrong and how to fix it. Solutions can be as simple as coaxing the wildlife towards a goal, but you might also be sitting staring into space with zero ideas for quite a while. In later levels, you can shift the literal tides of the world with certain items. Sand blobs will help to build up walkable surfaces, and this Tetris-looking fella will defy the physics of water to allow safe passage for your paper beasts. It's tricky to describe what you actually do here without spoiling the game. The solutions aren't always obvious and will require a good deal of logic and a whole lot of, Come on, buddy. Is this what you want me to do? Each puzzle builds on the last as well, so if you're taught something in one level, you better keep it in the back of your mind for a conundrum a full hour later. I didn't, and so some levels became a huge chore. There's also no tutorials or hints, which is the developer's style, and it's a concept that works at times. Now, why can't I get up there? I'm pretty sure I accidentally glitched my way through a couple of levels just by clicking around until it let me teleport. It was either a glitch or just a really poorly designed solution. I mean, I guess that worked? It's already recommended to take breaks when playing virtual reality, but here, take breaks, not just for your eyes, but for your brain. Now, at least when you're lost and confused, this lovely world you're trapped in looks pretty cool. From the moonlit caverns to the blazing sand dunes, I constantly found myself stopping and staring in awe at the abstract creations. Whoa! Add to that the game's incredible display of sound design with unnatural and surprising noises constantly surrounding you. It's certainly best to play this with headphones if you can. But the deeper you go and the longer you play, the game's glossy exterior starts to show its cracks. Vast areas seemingly full of gameplay potential will just lead you to numerous dead ends. There's also quite a few cramped and empty corridors that you'll have to mindlessly track through to get to the next stage. Plus, being VR, you'll be teleporting through the map, so a large portion of the game is just a flurry of clicks and flashing frames. It can sometimes feel clunky and unfinished. There's traces of a great game here, but so many corners seem to have been cut. Now, once you finish with the story, you'll unlock your very own biome to play with in sandbox mode. You can control terrain through molding the sand or adding a splash of water. Drop in all manner of flora and fauna from across the campaign, and watch as everything interacts in your very own ecosystem. Some items will be locked off, however, so you'll need to collect these little gooey things found scattered across levels to unlock them. Dabbling in this mode is fun for a few minutes, but it doesn't provide much additional challenge or any real reason to stick around. And with the main campaign clocking in at only around 3 hours, Paper Beast ends up feeling rather short, though it may be just the right length. The organic puzzle solving is super rewarding, but can get real tedious when the solution ends up being poorly designed. The story provides a wonderful and experimental world, but often gets too wrapped up in whimsy for its own good. I'm not sure how I would go about recommending this to friends, but it was certainly an intriguing experience from start to finish, so I'm giving Paper Beast 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
All All right, I'm taking on the Ask SP desk solo this week, just making sure we all keep a little bit of extra distance. And really, do you need more than Big Rad Brain to answer your most challenging gaming queries? Not too challenging, though, I hope. The shadow of the Noob Cup still looms large. Well, let's kick things off with a video question from Tom and Luke.
Hi, GGSP. We have a few questions for you. Number one, what are some games you recommend on Android, PS4, or Switch? Number two, will Secret Neighbor be coming out on PS4 or Nintendo Switch? Number three, is the original Plants vs. Zombies going to come out on any new consoles? Bye.
Thanks, Tom and Luke. Well, if you want game recommendations for Android, PS4, and Switch, well, buckle up, because have I got some good game recommendations coming your way. Now, since you seem like you enjoy a bit of the old Plants vs. Zombies, I would recommend Plants vs. Zombies 1 and 2 for Android, if you haven't tried them already. And while you're on your mobile, you should check out ALTO'S Odyssey and ALTO'S Adventure, or Monument Valley 1 and 2 for some stunning puzzling. And I absolutely adore Mini Metro and Mini Motorways. For PS4, well, there's Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, of course. And you can't go wrong with kart races like Crash Team Racing NITRO-FUELED, or Team Sonic Racing. Then there's classics like Ratchet & Clank, LITTLEBIGPLANET 3, and Rayman Legends. For Switch, you've got big games like Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Or you can check out Animal Crossing New Horizons, as well as other great indie titles like Untitled Goose Game, Wargroove, Cuphead, Creature in the Well. Oh, I could go on. Now to whether Secret Neighbor will be coming out on PS4 or Nintendo Switch, well, I'd say maybe, based on what happened with the original Hello Neighbor. That started out on PC and Xbox, then eventually came to PS4 and Switch. So my guess is that's what will happen for Secret Neighbor 2, eventually. But I haven't seen any official announcements about it yet. As for if the original Plants vs. Zombies game is going to come out on any new consoles, well, if you mean the original mobile game, then I'm not so sure about that. It's maybe a bit too old now to be coming to any new consoles, although it is backwards compatible on Xbox, so technically you can play it on an Xbox One and will be able to play it on the new Xbox as well. Also, Plants vs. Zombies 3 is coming to mobile soon. It's already been soft launched in some regions, so hopefully we'll be seeing it here in Oz before too long. But speaking of that new Xbox, let's power on through to another question, and this one comes from Darian in Melton, Victoria. This is going to be a question for Darren. Do you know what the specs are for the Xbox Series X? Thanks. Ooh, a question for Darren from Darian. Well, let me just get him on the line here.
Hello, Darren speaking.
Hi, Darren. It's Rad at the Ask SP desk, and I've got a question for you.
Oh, splendid. Fire away.
Well, Darian would like to know about the specs for the Xbox Series X. So could you please give us like a basic rundown?
Oh, affirmative. Especially for someone with a name so close to my own. I wonder if Darian is a data analyzing robot too. Perhaps a data analyzing robot for investigations into acute noobery.
How about those specs, Darren?
All right, here's a quick rundown. Now, some of the key specifications or features of the Xbox Series X that I think may be of interest to Spawnlings include that it will have a CPU, or central processing unit, that is reportedly about 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. It will also contain 16 gigabytes of RAM and have 12 teraflops of graphical grunt, which should make for some high-performance graphics processing. Oh, when all that comes together, the Series X will be 8 times as powerful as the original Xbox One, or twice as powerful as the One X. Then, of course, there's the solid-state drive, or SSD, for fast loading times. And that fancy ray tracing tech for some realistic lighting and reflections. Plus a new quick resume function, which could see you jumping in and out of multiple suspended games with ease. And there's said to be fairly comprehensive backwards compatibility with the 3 previous generations of Xbox as well.
Oh, that was actually a lot of specs, Darren. A spectacular, you might say. Well, thank you.
You're most welcome. Always happy to speak about specs. Bye-bye.
Bye, Darren. Okay, and moving on now to another question. This one is from Amelia in Sydney. Dear GGSP, if you created a game, what would it be about? Also, what is your favorite game in the world? Thanks, Amelia. While I'm not all of GGSP, if I created a game, it would of course follow the adventures of my best boy and beloved dog, Boatmeal. Can we see some photos of Boatmeal, please? Oh, there he is. Oh, look at my boy with his little nose. And here he is looking at a ball he likes. There he is having a little swim and rolling around on the sand. Oh, he is just the best boy. Who wouldn't want to play a game about Boatmeal? Perhaps it would follow him on his quest for hugs. Actually, come to think of it, Boatmeal was already featured in a game at the She Hacks Games Game Jam a few years ago. So he's clearly destined for video game stardom. But for now, in reality, I think I'll stick to playing games and leave the making to all those talented game devs out there. Now, to the question of my favorite game in the whole wide world, well, I've made no secret of the fact that my all-time favorite game is Dota 2. I even made this video all about why. You can check that out on our online archive. But I also have a lot of love for puzzle games like Portal 2. Oh, it's so perfect. I guess I'm just a fan of games with number 2 at the end. Oh, and the Just Dance series is super great too. I love combining gaming with getting active in the comfort of your living room. But now it looks like that's all the time we have for Ask SP this week. If you've got a question you'd like to ask us, go here and send it in. And why not make it a video question? If we answer it on the show, you'll score some great GGSP goodies. Now, how about some more Boatmeal pics? Oh, there he is in a pumpkin outfit and lying on the grass. Oh, such precious memories. Well, that's it for this week, but next time on GGSP, we get to work. We do a great job of solving puzzles in Good Job.
Let's get out there and do a good job.
And Jem gets tongue-tied in a Let's Play of Speaking Simulator.
I think I'm saying words okay. Oop, I'm a normal, say normal, pucker the lips, bring the, I'm gonna lose a tooth.
Plus, make sure to check on the ABC Me app for an extra snack-sized serve of GGSP, where we do a roundup of some indie games. Until next time, right out.
Jem out. You did a great job there with that promo for next week.
Oh, thanks, Jem, and you did a good job of saying that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, good job, everyone. Good job, camera person. Good job, audio person. Good job, producer person. Good job, editors. Good job, audience, for watching.
Good job, Rad.
Already said that.
Yeah, but I feel like it was worth saying twice.